You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the March 2nd meeting for the Michigan City Board of Public Works and Safety. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good morning. Today is Monday, March 2nd, 2026. The time is 8:32 a.m. and I'm calling to order this meeting for the Board of Public Works and Safety. Our first order of business is roll call. Mr. Volz?
Present.
Mr. Simmons?
Present.
Ms. Smith?
Present.
Ms. Moore?
Present.
Chair is present. And Attorney LePage?
Here.
All right. Our next order of business is the approval of minutes. The regular hybrid Zoom meeting on February 16th, 2026. Did everybody have a chance to review those? We have any corrections?
Motion to approve.
Support.
We have a motion and a second. We will call for the vote. Mr. Volz?
Aye.
Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
And chair votes aye as well. Our next order of business is the fire merit nominations. The fire merit nomination election results, and I will turn this over to our clerk to read the results.
So of the two nominees, Larry Butcher and Paul Przybylski, 27 votes were counted in total, 18 for Larry and 9 for Paul. So Larry is the winner.
All right. And then Ms. LePage, does the board need to vote to ratify those results, or is it just an FYI?
It's just an FYI at this point.
All right.
I believe there's some public.
I was going to say, is there any public? I don't see Larry in the audience.
Yes, Tommy Kolovic, 1316 Ohio Street. Congratulations to Larry Butcher. He's going to do a magnificent job. I know he's the director of LaPorte County EMS. They can help these probationary firefighters pass their certifications on the first time around. Mayor Angie also needs to fill Doug Beachy's seat. He moved out of the city limits maybe about 6 months ago, so he's not qualified, but it was an honor serving with Doug Beachy. He's amazing. He's a great attorney. But they need to fill his position so they don't run into this problem not having quorums for their meetings. I know, there's a lot of quality. You have to be like a Republican, and you have to be a 3-year civil city resident. You can't be a current policeman or firefighter. So I might talk to Alan Stevens, the Republican chair, about that and have him help us out. So just my comments and good luck to everybody at the Fire Merit Commission, the fire department, and thanks.
Thank you, Tommy. Are there any other public comments? All right. Any comments from the board? Nope. All right. I will just say congratulations, Mr. Butcher. Okay. Our next order of business is a request for proposal. A request to seek proposals for tree planting for spring 2026 per the federal tree grant previously awarded to the city. Ms. LePage?
Yes, Madam President. As you know, this is still a continuation of the federal tree grant and federal funding that we had made available to the city to deal with tree removal and the planting of new trees. We are looking for 51 trees to plant this spring. It would be a vendor to supply plant mulch and water those 51 trees in specific areas. This would be a request for proposals. We would be seeking all proposals on or before the April 6th meeting of the Board of Works. We would anticipate awarding the same, hopefully then on April 20th meeting.
Thank you very much. Did anybody on the board have any questions for Ms. LePage regarding this? No? All right, just as a reminder, this is a request for proposals. Like Ms. LePage said, we're not awarding anything today. This is to get the information out there to have contractors bid on this item. Do we have any public comment regarding this? Is there any public comment regarding the tree planting proposal? Anyone online? All right, public comment is now closed. Do we have any other questions or comments from the board? No? Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Support.
We have a motion and a second. We will call for the vote. Mr. Volz?
Aye.
Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
And chair votes aye as well. All right, our next order of business is the approval of emergency fees. Request for approval of emergency fees incurred under the Unsafe Building Act for the following addresses. And as a reminder, this was tabled from our last meeting on 2/16/2026. 820 Buffalo Street, 1914 Greenwood Ave, 1202 Tennessee Street, and 1504 East Barker Ave.
Good morning, Board. Ryan Beal, Deputy City Attorney. If you'd like me to, I can go property by property if that would work best.
Yes, please.
And I think as Attorney LePage set forth at the last hearing, this is a request that the emergency actions that the Code Enforcement Department took in boarding up these properties be approved. The board can approve the emergency action as necessary. The board can say that the action was not necessary and not approve the cost. So that's where we're at. As far as 820 Buffalo Street goes, we are requesting that that be reset to the second meeting in April, which is, I believe, April 20th. Certified mail to the owner of that property, which is Blue Point Asset Management LLC, came back as unclaimed. So we're going to have to do notice by publication to get proper notice on that property owner.
Okay.
As to 1914 Greenwood Avenue, we'd ask that the request for the costs in that be withdrawn. At the time of the board up, October 14th, 2025, the property was owned by a Burl Bergwald. Mr. Bergwald lost that property at tax sale, and in January, a tax deed was issued to a new owner. We cannot go after the new owner for the cost since they did not own it at the time that the board up was done. So our alternative would be to pursue the previous owner in small claims court. So we'll withdraw the request on that one.
Okay.
And then as to 1202 Tennessee Street, that's owned by Kevin Coy. Have DeMarcus Briscoe come forward. Mr. Coy was served with certified mail, and I also sent out another letter to him in regards to today's hearing. So if we could proceed on that.
Okay.
You place Mr. Briscoe under code?
Do you solemnly swear and affirm under the pains and penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Marcus, can you state your name?
DeMarcus Briscoe.
And what is your position with the city?
Code enforcement.
Attorney Beal.
Brian, can you get to a microphone? Thank you. Thank you. I think you just touch it.
Marcus, what is your position with
Nope.
the city?
It's got to turn green. There you go.
There it is. Okay. DeMarcus, what is your position with the city?
Code enforcement manager.
Okay. Are you familiar with 1202 Tennessee Street here in Michigan City?
Yes, sir.
And it's owned by a Kevin Coy.
Yes, sir.
And on or about October 14th of 2025, did the city take action and board up that property?
Yes, sir. We did.
And for what reason?
Pretty much unsafe. We received multiple complaints about the property being vacant for years and also homeless people also being inside the property.
And so basically the property was open to anybody that walked past. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes, sir.
Did that pose an immediate threat to public safety,
Yes, sir. He did.
especially like the neighbors? Anybody can come live next door to these people and the property was unsecured, correct?
Correct.
So you felt it was necessary without notice to the owner to board up that property.
Yes, sir.
And this property had a history of being neglected.
Yes, sir.
All right. What just to let the board know, what is current status of that property?
It's still vacant. We have sent out multiple code violation documents to the owner as to register under 22-36, the vacant property registration, but still it has no contact with the property owner.
Okay. Are you familiar with Mr. Coy?
I am just by the cases that we have, but never
Okay.
met in person.
He owns some other properties in this city?
Yes.
Okay. So are you asking the board to approve the board up costs for that?
Yes, sir.
And board, just to let you know, I think I made a typo in the request. The actual board up cost, which the invoice was attached to the request, is $2,350. And we're asking the board to approve that cost as an emergency action under the unsafe building law. Thanks, DeMarcus.
No problem.
Thank you.
And then finally on 1504 East Barker Ave, that property is owned by a Carolyn Mohammed, who does have a local address here in Michigan City. And For reasons unknown to me, when I sent out the certified mailer about a month ago, apparently my mail's somewhere stuck in Indianapolis, even though she has has a local address. So we're just asking for a reset to that. If we could go to April 6th, I'm still hopeful that we'll be able to track her down.
Thank you very much. All right, Ms. LePage, should we take these items one by one?
I would.
Okay. Before we do this, is there any public comment regarding any of these properties?
Yes, this is Tommy Kolovic from 1316 Ohio Street. 1914 Greenwood Avenue, that was Burl Bergwald's house. He was the adjunct professor of political science at Purdue North Central, which is now Purdue Northwest. He was a city councilman, a county council. If you want to lecture about government politics, he was the man to talk to. No, he's passed away. Doesn't have any children. Doesn't have any family around here. So I don't think you're going to be able to get. The man never even drove. But when it come to government politics, he was it. Sue Downs said that when she went into the house to board it up, the house was like a museum inside. He said he had campaign posters all over the walls and political memorabilia. And one of the rooms of his house was his library. I actually talked to Mike Schultz about their LaPorte County assessor. I told him they still on the Beacon side, still had him under the ownership. But they're trying to figure out who NWI Russ is. So maybe we can, if there's anything, any kind of major historical value, maybe we can, instead of just going to a dumpster when they tear down the house or whatever, that, maybe get some of that, maybe put in a charity auction for the Salvation Army or whatever. But it's just thought I'd like to add that. Thank you.
And thank you, Tommy. Are there any other public comments? Someone online?
Good morning, everyone. Scott Melland, 200 Kenwood Place. Sorry I couldn't make it in person. I've got an appointment here at the house. My only question is, I know that a lot of hard work went into all of these matters to get to this point, and this question, it's going to seem unlikely, but what is the mechanism or the likelihood of the city recouping any of these costs from the rightful owners? Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Do you have any other public comment regarding this matter? No? Any more public comment? All right, public comment is now closed. Does the board have any questions or comments regarding any of these properties? Any?
So just in response to Mr. Mellon's comment, under the unsafe building law, this procedure is necessary for the board to approve this. Then we'll send an additional notice to the property owner. If not paid within 30 days, we'll make a certification to the county auditor, and the cost of the board up can be placed as a special assessment on the taxes for that particular property. So if the property is ever sold or whatever in the future, those costs will be recouped.
Thank you for sharing that information. Go ahead, Ms. Moore.
I do have a question then.
Yeah.
So the Burrell's home,
Yes,
we're withdrawing the request to demolish it.
correct.
Somebody else now owns.
Well, we're not asking for demolish. We incurred costs in boarding it up. It was still in Mr. Bergwald's name at the time of the board up. It's now owned by someone who had bought the property at tax sale and got a tax deed in January. So the unsafe building law only allows us to go out to the owner of the property at the time of the board up. So,
Thank you.
so it sounds like
Chances are, I mean, the only option we had would be to go after the estate of, and yeah, so it's probably going to be a loss.
I would agree on that. Do you have any other questions or comments from the board? All right, we will take these items one by one. So the request to table 820 Buffalo Street until 4:20. Do we have a motion for that?
Motion to approve. Support.
All right, we have a motion and a second. We will call for the vote. Mr. Volz,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore,
Aye.
and chair votes aye as well. For the recommendation to withdraw the emergency fee from 1914 Greenwood Ave. Do we have a motion?
Motion to withdraw.
Support.
We have a motion and a second. We will call for the vote. Mr. Volz,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore,
Aye.
And chair votes aye as well. So those fees are withdrawn. For upholding the emergency fees for 1202 Tennessee Street.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Support.
We have a motion and a second. We'll call for the vote. Mr. Volz,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore,
Aye.
and chair votes aye as well. And the recommendation to table 1504 East Barker Ave until our April 6th meeting.
Motion to table.
Okay.
Support.
Support.
All right, we have a motion and a couple of supports. We'll call for the vote. Mr. Volz,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore,
Aye.
and chair votes aye as well.
Thank you, board. I will submit a form of order for the 1202 Tennessee Street.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And thank you all for your hard work regarding all of these properties.
Oh.
All right, our next order of business is a contract. The Michigan City Special Events Department is requesting the following sponsorship contracts for the 2026 event season. A silver sponsorship from GAF in the amount of $5,000 and a silver sponsorship from Phoenix Construction LLC in the amount of $5,000. Mr. Williams.
Good morning, Eric Williams, Michigan City Special Events. As you said, these are silver sponsorships with GAF and Phoenix Construction in the amount of $5,000 each. These are brand new partners for the 2026 season, and we're very excited to have them on board with us. This is going to take us to $82,000 contracted and received. We have $25,000 worth of contracts we're still waiting on having submitted back to us, and that's going to take us to $107,000 total. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys may have.
Thank you very much. Does the board have any questions for Mr. Williams?
Good morning, Eric.
Good morning.
What was there was another sponsorship level that you guys weren't doing again? Which one was that?
That was you're talking the premier sponsor, the $20,000 one.
I feel like Phoenix didn't give enough, so that could have been one of your premier sponsors. But good job.
Thank you.
Mr. Simmons, did you have a comment? All right, we will open this up for public comment. Is there any public comment regarding these two sponsorships?
Yes, this is Tommy Kolovic from 1360 Ohio Street. I echo the sentiments of Ms. Smith, the Phoenix Construction. I call them something else. After the city council granted them 40 years of millions of dollars of tax abatements, I don't know why they didn't come kick in and being a $20,000 gold sponsor themselves. So of course, we want to thank GAF and all the others for their sponsorship, but shame on the Phoenix Construction.
Appreciate your comments. Do we have any other public comment? Any other public comment? Anyone online?
Hey, it's me again, Scott Mellon, Kenwood Place.
Good morning.
You know, I know there's a lot of conflict in this town about Phoenix development, but at the end of the day, we're getting an $800 million plus development in this town, recycling a brownfield site. I thank them for their investment in the city, and I thank them for their donation. That's all.
Thank you for your comments. Do we have any other public comment regarding this item? All right, we will close public comment and bring it back to the board. Do we have any other questions or comments? No? Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Support.
We have a motion and a second. We will call for the vote. Mr. Volz,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore,
Aye.
and chair votes aye as well. Thank you very much and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right. Our next order of business is a request for a road closure for a 5K. Notre Dame Catholic School is requesting to close Moore Road from Birch Tree Lane going north into Long Beach on March 21st, 2026 from 7:45 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. for their annual St. Patrick's Day 5K color run. And I know we have someone online to speak regarding this. Ms. Dent?
I think that my mic was muted. This is Allison Dent
We
with Notre
got
Dame.
ya.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you now. Can you please state your name and address for the record?
Allison Dent, 6127 West 300 North LaPorte.
Good morning. Can you please go ahead and tell us about this event?
This is our 6th annual 5K, and we start our elite race at 8 a.m. and then we have a kids color run, and then we start the family walk run after that. So looking for a closure at 7:45, and we should be done by 10:30.
Thank you very much. And again, this is a repeat event for you guys, and I see you have your emergency action plan and everything submitted. Did the board have any questions or comments for Ms. Dent? No? Any questions or comments? I see we have Captain Jesse over here willing to offer his input on this from the police department.
Good morning.
Good morning.
They've done it for a few years. Last year, there was no issues. Most of it's in Long Beach. Anyways, it's a small section of Michigan City roads that are actually being closed. So there's no issue on our end.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Mr. Warner, did you have anything else to add? No? All right. If we don't have any board questions or comments, we'll open this up to public comment. Is there any public comment regarding this item? Is there any public comment? Anyone else online? All right, hearing no public comment, I'm going to close this and bring it back to the board. Do we have any board questions or comments?
Motion to approve again, to reiterate, it's just an annual event.
Support.
All right, we have a motion and a second. We will call for the vote. Mr. Volz?
Aye.
Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Congratulations and enjoy your run.
Thank you all.
All right, our next order of business is a stop sign request. Naomi, and I'm not going to pronounce this correctly, I'm so sorry. And Drande, I will let you repronounce this when you get up here, is requesting installation of a stop sign at the intersection of Hendrick Street and Francis Street for safety purposes. Please come to the microphone and state your name and address again for the record.
Hello, my
Good
name is
morning.
Noemi Andrade. And yes, I am requesting a stop sign at the corner of my residence due to safety reasons, because my son gets dropped off and other kids as well on that corner for their school, Lake Hills Elementary. And I just think it would be safer for the kids if there was a stop sign, because cars do be zooming through that street.
All right. Thank you for that. And you live right there,
Yeah,
correct?
I live right on the corner.
Okay. Did the board have any questions or comments for Ms. Andrade?
Andrade.
Cross street.
Francis? Right, Ms. Moore?
So are you saying that the kids have to cross the road
Mm-hmm.
when the bus stops?
Yes.
Is that,
Yes, there are kids that do cross the road, mine including.
is that it seems like that's the majority of the students
Mhm.
that have to cross the road,
Yeah,
but the bus has a stop sign. Oh,
there is no stop sign right there. Like, on that corner, there is no stop sign on that whole. So that's what I'm requesting to be placed there.
Thank you. Did the board have any other questions or comments? Mr. Simmons?
Yeah, I just would like to refer this to MCPD to go out and observe or give us an opinion, as well as our engineer.
I'm gonna say Captain Jesse, I know, did email us some statistics on traffic stops and calls at that intersection.
Good morning again.
Jesse?
So regarding that intersection, one, I know there was a request on the September 2nd, 2025 agenda, and I think some of the stats are pretty much the same. Since January 1st, 2020 through February 26th of 2026, when I ran it, there's 11 calls for service using that intersection, 8 traffic stops, 2 suspicious person vehicles, and 1 parking issue. and only 2 accidents listed with that as a nearby intersection. One was unsafe backing from a driveway and the other one was an OWI accident, but the intersection played no role in that. I did talk to Michigan City Area Schools Transportation, and they said depending on which way the bus comes, like the bus does block, though, if it's coming off of Francis, will position itself to block the whole T intersection there, and that they've had no complaints or people running the stop arms or anything in there either to warrant, putting in a stop sign, but that they'll make sure with their bus drivers that they do their best. And I was behind a bus on my way here where it moves over the center line to help kind of restrict vehicle motion. And I know that they do that in that intersection.
Thank you. Mr. Warner, would you like to share your thoughts on this intersection, please?
I looked at that intersection, Tim Warner, city engineer, sorry. I looked at the intersection, the approach of Francis from the west to the intersection of Hendricks is a stop control sign now. It was recently restriped. The crosswalk has been striped. The stop bar has now been painted. There wasn't that before. As far as the Hendricks Street north-south movement, there's not a lot of ADT on there. And as Captain Jesse indicated, when the bus pulls in, it blocks the intersection and the stop arm is out. Nobody is supposed to pass a bus. I don't know that there's a warrant for the stop sign there just based on traffic motions and everything, but that's you guys call. I don't recommend it. It doesn't sound like Captain Jesse does either.
Thank you for that. Do we have any other board questions or comments? All right, I will open this up for public comment. Do we have any public comment?
Yes, Tommy Kolovic, 1316 Ohio State. Just like Captain Jesse said, this was already requested and denied 5-0 at the September 2nd meeting. Once you've been denied, you should have to wait a year before you bring it back. We don't need a bus stop. You put a stop sign there, you'll have to put a stop sign at all the other bus stops in the city. I got a bus stop just at the opposite end of my block, right out there on Warren, Ohio. I'm not going to tell you some of the things that have happened on my block. So, you denied it 5-0 once, you got to deny it 5-0 twice.
Thank you. Do we have any more public comment regarding this item? Any more public comment? Anybody online? All right, I will close public comment and bring this back to the board. Do we have any other board questions or comments regarding this? I'll go ahead and say first.
Go.
I know we don't have any jurisdiction over Michigan City Area Schools, but I do appreciate the fact that they block the intersection both ways. And I've noticed that unfortunately in this day and age that tends to have to happen because people just don't seem to pay attention. So I would love it if Michigan City Area Schools could just do that at all of their bus stops. It's completely cross traffic to keep these children safe. All right, Mr. Simmons.
I'd just like to concur. I think the bus drivers are taking all the necessary precautionary steps to make sure that the kids are getting across safely. Again, this is normally what they do. You have the stop sign that goes out from the bus, and to take it a step further, he's even crossing the intersection to make it safer.
Are there adults in your neighborhood that can be there to help monitor the kids coming also?
Can you step back to the microphone?
Yeah, including myself, we are there when the bus does come. We just thought as, a group that, if there was a bus stop sign, it would just make us feel a little bit safer.
I definitely understand that. All right.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I appreciate that you came to ask because it's nothing more scary as a new mom and a young mom, worrying about your kids every day. And so for you to come and represent your group to make this ask is awesome. And I say keep asking every time you think, you need something. I would agree with Captain Jesse. I don't think a stop sign is necessary there at this time. And I wasn't sure actually are you more concerned if when they're getting off the bus and the bus is gone and they're crossing the street?
Yes.
Is that what it is? It's after the bus has blocked the road and done all of that, it's a problem. You worried about them crossing the street at that point?
Right, yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be more diligence on your part, and that's just gonna be every day anyway. So, but I appreciate you coming. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you so much.
Agreed. All right, do we have a motion?
Motion to deny.
Support.
All right, we have a motion and a second. We will call for the vote. Mr. Volz,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore,
Aye.
and Chair votes aye as well. Again, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. All right, our next order of business is the claims docket. The claims docket for March 2nd, 2026. Does everyone have a chance to review that?
Motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion to support.
Support.
All right, we have a motion and a second. We'll call for the vote. Mr. Volz,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore,
Aye.
and Chair votes aye as well. Our next order of business is the payroll claims docket for February 20th, 2026 and February 27th, 2026. Did everyone have a chance to review?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We will call for the vote. Mr. Volz,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore,
Aye.
and Chair votes aye as well. All right, our next order of business is the request for a railroad repair. Councilman Don Prespolinski is requesting to have an update on the cleanup of CSX railroad ties along Arthur Street and the repairs of the CSX railroad crossing at Buffalo Street. This was tabled from our November 3rd, 2025 meeting. I will say we did get some new information from CSX, and it looks like this is on their agenda both for the asphalt in the spring and the summer, and the field is aware of the ties and are working the removal into their schedule. So it does look like we will hopefully have some movement on this soon. Do we have any board comments or questions regarding this? Mr. Warner?
Yeah, I saw the communication back and forth between our Public Works Director, Wendy Bechet, and CSX. And as soon as the asphalt plant's open, it sounds like they're going to have a program of going through and fixing all of these crossings in the area, including this Buffalo Street one. So usually they open late March if it's really warm, or mid-April. So it'll happen in the next month and a half or so.
It's fantastic news.
Or at least scheduled.
It's scheduled, correct. Mr. Prespolinski?
Morning, board members. Michigan City Councilman Don Prespolinski, and I live at 215 Gardena Street. And I am just very excited to see that our diligence and persistence with the railroad to get this done has finally come to fruition. I know that it hasn't happened yet, but hopefully, as they said it would, this late spring, summer, that this will be taken care of. I do want to thank the board members for their diligence and listening to me complain, probably for the last year, I think it's been, and to Mr. Warner and to Wendy Bechet, as far as following through, both with phone calls, unanswered phone calls, and letters written to the railroad. And yeah, I just knew if we kept pushing and pushing, even with all the important things that they have to do, to me, this is one of the most important because it affected the neighbors in the Buffalo Street area, and looking at unsightly railroad ties every day, and especially having an unsafe crossing that children would be walking over, and the residents in that area, that we're going to get that taken care of. So once again, I want to thank the board, and I want to thank Tim Warner and Wendy for following through and getting this matter taken care of. Thank you very. Oh, and the other thing I'd like to recommend is that we keep this on the agenda until it's completed.
I would agree with you on that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Do we have any other public comment regarding this item?
Morning, Paul
Morning.
Przybylski, 1716 Washington Street. Have two requests. One,
Regarding this item?
I'm sorry, I thought you were on public
Nope,
comment.
not yet, not yet. Just public comment regarding this item. Right, any public comment? Anyone online? Did you have something, Tommy? No, okay. All right, I will bring this back to the board. When would we like to see this on the schedule again? Thinking maybe the second meeting in April or May?
I was just going to recommend probably the second meeting in May, because then we'll have a better idea of the schedule, the asphalt plants and everything. So I can get back to you then.
Sounds good. All right, we have a recommendation from Engineer Warner to put this on the agenda for the second meeting of May.
Motion to approve, moving to the second meeting in May.
Support.
All right, we have a motion and a second. We'll call for the vote. Mr. Volz,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
Aye.
Ms. Moore.
Aye.
And chair votes aye as well. We will see this item again on the second Monday meeting in May. All right. Our next order of business is public comment. Do we have any public comment?
Paul Przybylski, 1716 Washington Street. I was here a couple of years ago making a request to have, or it might have been longer than 2 years, making a request for the unused street lights that are on the at the old police department property to be placed in the second ward on a couple of streets in the heavy business district to lighten the area with a lot of traffic. One on Charles between Franklin Street and Washington, one between Washington and Wabash on Charles, and the other one posted at by the St. Anthony's Hospital. I can't, about in the middle of the block. It needs some more lightage. But the reason I'm making that request is that there are lamps in the middle of the block on Ripley Street, Ann Street, Homer Street, on Fulton Street, and Charles Street, with all the traffic we have with all during the night at all the bars going through there. I've had a lot of requests from the neighbors. That's why I came before when I was on the city council, and there's been no action on it. So I didn't think I needed to make a written request, but if I do, so be it. I appreciate your support on the matter.
Thank you.
Yes, this is Tommy Kalava from 1316 Ohio Street. I agree with Senior Council Member Emeritus Paul Przybylski to put those lights in if you're not using them, use them somewhere else. I know there's a number of ghost utility poles around the city that they add to the blight of the city. Once those utilities aren't pulled, the utility need companies to get rid of them. They don't want to get rid of them because they don't want to have to dispose of them. They got creosote. They have to be specially disposed of. There's a damaged utility pole at Willard and Highway 12. I know Mike and Sheila Bergerson's son and daughter and son-in-law, they're going to put a coffee shop there. First development we've had in the city in probably 40 years on the west side. So that's what utility pole is really bad. It's almost ready to just collapse. It needs to be taken out. And just finally, I just really want to get up and make sure you wish Mayor Angie a happy birthday Thursday. I won't tell you how old she is, but I'm really happy we have a mayor that's a little bit younger than I am. Thank you.
Thank you, Tommy. Do you have any other public comment?
Hey, Scott Melland, 200 Kenwood Place. Great job, everybody. I've got two things. Now that it looks like we've broken the back of winter, I wonder what the plan is about leaf pickup. I'm asking for other people. I know it's a real problem for everybody, but it's going to be a mess this spring with blocked drains and so forth. So I'm just wondering what kind of plan we have there. The second matter is, I think it's time to look at all our flashing stop signs and two-way signs on Franklin Street. I think it's been about a year for the two-way conversion of Franklin. I'm not exactly sure, but I don't believe we need the cacophony of flashing caution signs and stop signs, both on Franklin Street, Wabash, and Pine. Are drivers in Michigan City particularly inept at following traffic laws? I don't see the need for about a dozen yellow two-way signs on Franklin Street with flashing lights. I mean, let's remember, it's one thing when we change the traffic pattern. I think for a year it makes sense to have new signage, but after a year people acclimate. People driving into our area don't need the signage. They understand what a stop sign means. They understand what a road striping is. So how can we have an arts district? How can we call it an arts district when we have this cacophony of flashing visual pollution? And it's time for us to stop. I think it's time for us to start looking at removing these things. They have served their purpose. They're not for permanency. And incidentally, just so the public knows, each one of those flashing signs costs in excess of $2,000. Installed is closer to $2,500 per sign. So let's take a look at that, please. If I need to get this on the agenda, I will for next meeting, but I think this is something the board should look at. Thank you.
Thank you. I know you can't see it, but Engineer Warner's over here taking notes. Do we have any other public comment?
Yeah, and this may, these items that I'm going to, Don Przybylski, City Councilman at Large, 215 Gardena. Excuse me. And these items may have to get on the agenda, but anyway, things that I've noticed since the snow has melted, and I know it was a rough winter, and hopefully it's past us. But anyway, the yellow striping on the roadways throughout Michigan City in various roads. I can't write them all down yet, but as we all travel, a lot of the yellow, especially the double yellow no passing sections are wearing out. Also on Michigan Boulevard, as you're coming into town from Highway 212, coming into town to Johnson Road, there's supposed to be yellow lineage striping around. They're not islands. All they are is divisions between the westbound and eastbound lanes where the water drains in, and there's weeds growing in that area. The lines are basically gone, and I'm looking, and the yellow little plastic dividers that stand up so you know which lanes you're in. A lot of those are gone now, and I think the city needs to get a hold of the highway department to have them come and review that area and get that cleaned up. But I don't know, if the city, we have the funds to do like a survey on all the streets in town that have these double yellow lines, or maybe just white striping, to get them done. Yeah, because it also, streets that have been blacktopped in the last couple years and have been striped, well, that striping is like wearing off, and some of it's gone altogether. And I know that the snow plows wear it off as they come by and plow. I understand that. But I don't know if Reith Riley puts a different quality of striping down on the city streets versus the highways. Because, you go out on the highways, you go out on the toll roads, and the striping seems to wear for a longer time than what we're getting, I guess, the bang for our buck for the striping. I just think if it's there for a purpose and there's a double yellow line, that means no passing. And all of a sudden, now there's just one yellow line, but you go another 10 feet because there's a double yellow line because this part is wore out. It seems to me like it's defeating the whole purpose, and the whole purpose is to be safe and not to pass in those areas. So I don't know if I need to get on the agenda or the board takes that into consideration or passes it on to the city engineer, and then we go from there. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Engineer Warner, you got all that?
Tim Warner, city engineer. This winter was brutal, our striping. Once the last snow event was over and the plowing was done, Sean and I have noticed, Sean Smith, our street department director, and I have noticed that the striping really took a beating this year compared to last year. I mean, we hardly had any lost striping, a few pieces of the urea striping that was on Ohio Street took a little nick, and I think street department got some of that fixed. But this year it was unanticipated how many times the plows would be out working, and they really took a hit. Sean's crews are going to start doing crosswalks and stop bar replacements. He doesn't think they have the capability to do the solid lines down the center line. So he was getting a couple prices from a couple of different paving marking companies to give us a price. That was a discussion we had last week. So Don, I was already ahead of it. We know it's an issue. So we'll get the price. We'll talk to the controller's office and see what monies we might have to do some of these stripings. But yeah, there's Michigan Boulevard coming in, as Don said. I noticed even the skip dash white lines have disappeared this year from previous years. So we know we've got it. If we don't get a lot of it done this year, we'll have a contract for next year to do more striping. One of the things the city did just before I came on board was on Ohio Street. They did, which the state does, is recess the striping so the plows don't hit it. So we did a contract where we recess the double yellows on Ohio. Those things are great. They didn't do it on Paz Road in 2024 when I started. That just was gone within the first or second snow plowing event, all the striping on Paz. So we're getting prices for doing the recessing on the major thoroughfares. We probably won't do it on the side streets because it's a pretty expensive process, but we are looking into it. We know it's an issue and we'll take care of it as soon as we can get to it.
Thank you. Do you have any other public comment?
Good morning. My name is Steve Lockridge. And I was here
Can you
back
please state your address for the record? Sorry.
302 Crestwood Drive, Michigan City.
Thank you.
I was here back in July about a sidewalk repair, and I was just wondering, and it came back in October that it still hadn't been done and that it was tabled for the 2026 budget. I was wondering, when will those projects start?
Mr. Warner?
Yeah, the 26 sidewalk improvement program will be bid probably mid-May. So that work will all happen this summer.
Thank you.
And we won't have the budget to do everything that I've got on the list, but we've got 300,000 worth of sidewalk work starting this summer, and then we'll have a program to continue the sidewalk replacements. So yeah, if you put your sidewalk on the list this past year, we're working on probably the 24 list this year. So it'll be the following year, but we're working on it.
Okay.
Good morning. My name is Cedric Parker. I reside at 405 North Carroll Ave. I'm here inquiring about how the process works to get a building on the demo list. And I'm not sure how to do that. If you could give me some direction, maybe website or who to talk to, so I can see about how that works.
I'll say we have our code enforcement team right back there. I'm sure they'd be happy to speak with you after the meeting real quick.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right. Do we have any other public comment? Any other public comment? All right. Public comment is now closed. But our next order of business is a public hearing. A public hearing on the demolition order in progress of 1605 Franklin Street, following the 45-day extension granted per the Board of Work order dated January 21st, 2026. turn this over to Ms. Page.
Okay. So this matter is a continuation of the demolition order originally granted by this board. On August 18th of 2025, and the findings and order was approved on September 16th of 2025. Based on that order, this board stayed the actual demolition until there was a hearing on January 5th of 2026. At that time, this board again stayed the demolition for 45 days and set it for a hearing on this matter for this board to consider any additional evidence and progress made and whether any additional stays should be granted. So at this time, I would just ask that anyone who's going to testify from the city or on behalf of the property owner to please come down front so I can swear you in so you can provide testimony here today. And would you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm under the pains and penalties of perjury that testimony you're about to give will be accurate?
I do. And I'm David Albers, Superintendent of the Building Department for the City of Michigan City. On January 30th, we issued a demolition permit to Green City Demo, who was hired by the property owner, Mr. Graff. They have been working throughout the month of February to do selective demo on the process or on the premises. We've been, watching that. I spoke with their project manager this morning. He claimed that they have about 2 more weeks of work to do until they're at a point of where they feel that they're complete. So we would be supportive of an additional stay to this order for whatever the board should decide, whether that be 30 days or 45 days. It's up to you. But there is progress being made on this property finally. I don't know if Mr. Graff would like to speak any more to it, but we're finally making progress. The one thing that we would ask, and we'll relay this to Green City Demo, is that the fence that's been put up along Franklin Street to help protect the demolition process, they're being moved back on the weekends so that it doesn't impede vehicular traffic on Franklin Street. So that's our request as we're in the middle of this process.
Some board have any questions?
Can you give an update on what progress has been made? Because the last time there hadn't been, so we're looking to see what has been done since then.
Yeah, some of the most critical thing as far as the stabilization of the building or the lack thereof has been they've been removing the roof, which that was probably causing the most stress onto the exterior walls of the building. So that has been removed, and they've also made great progress in removing the upper floor of the brick masonry, which was very unstable. I think that they're doing this in a way that helps to salvage some of that masonry so that it could potentially be reused. So that means it's a little bit of a slower process for them. But we understand how that process goes.
So that outer wall that was bulging, that is the progress on that is
right. They're making progress, and they're continuing to work on it. It is slow because it is dangerous to just throw people inside of there and working. They're working off of an articulating boom lift that allows them to take it down piece by piece in a safe manner.
So at the end of this extended time period, what do you see is going to be accomplished?
Well, what the permit was described, so I'll just read it really quick. The description of work is interior demolition of existing structures is proposed, with demolition limited to the roof, upper wall assemblies down to the 2nd story level, and the front facade in its entirety. The lower 3 walls and existing steel infrastructure, including supports and headers, will remain in place. The front iron header and supporting posts will be preserved, and demolition will be performed in a controlled manner, and all debris will be removed and disposed of at an approved facility, and any bracing support that's needed would be performed pending a structural assessment from a structural engineer. So the way that I see this, at the end of the day, here's the one thing: we can't be left with an unsafe building or an unsafe structure. I can't speak to what exactly Mr. Warner intends to do with the property, but it does need to be made safe and filled in. We can't have an open pit, which is the old basement sitting there that's collecting water as a cesspool. Oh, sorry, Mr. Graff, Warner Graff. Sorry, that's not Mr. Warner. But I believe he has plans for the building. Some of the initial plans that we've seen are not in compliance with our current codes and ordinances. He would have to go through the BZA process in order to do that. So, but I would encourage Mr. Graff that you need to, in these, whatever the board should extend, you need to go through the proper process of getting any kind of BZA approval, anything with the planning commission, planning director, and then plans approved, so that it's either you're going to repurpose the building or it's going to be demolished and made safe. So it's to be seen what exactly is going to come of the property. That's up to Mr. Graff.
What is normally that process if he were to commence with the BZA planning process that you just identified? How long was that normally take, do you think?
I can't speak, I don't have the plan director here, but I would imagine a month or two.
Okay. In the meantime, though, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like Mr. Graff is making progress. You are communicating with his contractors, getting updates, and he is doing what he's been asked to maintain the structure of this building and maintain safety.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Hearing no questions, anything else that the planning department would like to present?
Not at this time, no, not until they make more progress towards the completion, at which time we will do an inspection and assess and potentially ask for, he provided a structural report from a structural engineer, but that was prior to the demolition work. Naturally, with any kind of demolition activity in a building, there's going to be some disturbance, or it could be. So we would, if he wants to keep certain walls remaining or what have you, we would need a structural engineer's, another structural report from the structural engineer.
Any other questions? Hearing none, I'm assuming you rest at this point, correct? Mr. Graff, would you like to present anything? And if you could just raise your right hand, I'll swear you in under oath. Do you solemnly swear and affirm under the pains and penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
It is.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thanks. So Warner Graff, 117 Boyd Circle. What Mr. Albert says is correct. We've made significant progress. The intent is to remove the entire upper floor of the building. So as per the permit's wording, what we thought was the gravamen of the complaint of the city on safety should be mitigated entirely. There is no issues at all with the lower walls. They're 3-core brick. They're standing straight up in the air. They're all reinforced with steel. We already have an engineer's report saying that they're stable. I've had one contractor, in Mr. Patino, crawling through the building for 2 years, as you know. He said it was stable. He was comfortable having his family work on it. When we swapped out to the new contractor, Green City, they attested on their inspections that it was stable. Their demolition work has only confirmed that. We thought it was a 1-core brick. In the upper walls, it turned out to be 3-core brick, which has resulted in even more work on the demolition, because what we are doing, as Mr. Albers alluded to, is we're saving every brick. We're chiseling every brick out of this building, and I think the exact quote from Manny, the project manager, was this building wasn't going anywhere. So again, I'll remind the city that we had 0 internal inspections from the city before they put the demolition order on. We have no engineering report from the city. We have nobody with a structural engineering background making a study on the building. There was only a site concern based on the bowing of the upper floor, which wasn't even bowing when they put the demolition order on. That happened 7 months later. It's amazing what we can do with permits. I'm happy to work on it. I'm very happy to have the permit. The permit is very clear on what we're doing, and the plan is to preserve the 3 walls, north, south, and west wall. Again, all 3 core brick, and the posts on the facade in the front and the header. There's a header, like most storefronts that were made in the 20s and so on. They have iron posts and then a header, and then the facade, all the brick for that building sat on top of that. We're removing all of that brick with the exception of a couple of ornamental columns so that it's consistent with the dairy next door. So it has like a very pleasing effect when people drive down the street. The hope is that the city will remove the demolition order after this work is done, because if you remove the demolition order, then it gives me a green light to make all the other investments that I need to make in terms of any type of bracing, filling it in, going through the zoning process. Now the city wants another engineering report, it sounds like. I would rather that I just not be under threat from the city on demolition now that I've removed the major safety concern, which is the upper floor, and the building will be secure. Even there's a basement in the building, so we're removing the floor. So they're right there's a the internal of the building will be going down a floor, right, or half floor. But it'll be secure. Unless somebody breaks into it, as if they could break into every building, in the Franklin corridor, there will be no safety concern for that. I will get the engineer's report because we have to do that to get the bracing, but I'd like the demolition order removed so that the cost of the engineering report, the bracing that I have to fabricate and so on, is not wasted cost. I can't fabricate metal and then have you guys want to demolish the building anyway, right? It wouldn't make any sense. So that's what I would hope. I think anybody that does an inspection of the building, and you can talk with Green City in terms of the stability of the building, should reasonably assume objectively that it is a safe building. The walls aren't going to cave in. And again, there's a steel infrastructure around the entire first floor of the brick. All right, so that's my hope, and I'll go through all the zoning. And just remind the board, this thing was zoned as a bar and a grocery store for 100 years. What the intent is to make it, it's called an urban garden concept, where you have an open air, type of venue. The steel infrastructure will make for a nice lattice work. We'll green it up. We can use the walls beautifully to corridor the alleyway and make it a really nice place for either private events or public space. And I can't imagine the zoning has to be amended, significantly, given that it was a bar and a public meeting place before then. But we'll go through the process, whatever it is. So thank you very much.
Unless any parties have any other final statements, I'll turn it back over to Madam President.
All right, seeing no more board comments or questions, what is the pleasure of the board? We have the recommendation from the planning department to extend this for another 45 days.
If I can I make a quick comment on that? So
Go ahead.
to extend, but I think you still need to go through the BZA process. You still need to get the ball rolling on that so that we're not left with, okay, the order then gets removed in 30, 45 days, whatever, and then you start the BZA, like, let's get started on it now. with whatever kind of amendments need to be made if it gets approved by BZA, so on and so forth, so that you then know what your options are to what you can do with the building going forward. So we're not left with it, a partially demolished building with 3 walls and a pit. So.
And Dr. Edwards can assist him on.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. All right. Any,
So
Ms. Moore?
you initially recommended about 2 weeks worth of work. Oh, yeah,
Yeah, it's on.
2 weeks worth of work, correct? That was the
The contractor said 2 weeks. I'd give him three to four.
3 to 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so if Mr. Simmons, you want to jump in there?
Can you turn your? The demolition contractor believes they have about 2 weeks worth of work, but because they
Yeah, I
are
had that
working
too.
slowly and meticulously, Mr. Albers is recommending 3 weeks.
Right.
Okay.
Is with my project management background, when a contractor tells me 2 in my head, I say, okay, it's probably going to be 3.
It's fair.
Would it make any sense to extend it for 30 days, but also request that the BZA process or that process starts and we have a report on that at the end of the 30 days?
Mr. Albers is shaking his head yes.
That would make sense.
Are you making a motion to that effect? Are you
Yes.
moving to that effect?
Motion to approve a 30-day continuance with the BZA or the zoning processes needed to be started within that 30-day window so that we have a report back at the end of the 30-day window.
Okay. So we have a motion for a 30-day extension with an additional report. So for the zoning request, do we have a second? All right. We have a motion and a second. We will call for the vote. Mr. Volz,
Aye.
Mr. Simmons,
Aye.
Ms. Smith,
No.
Ms. Moore,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye as well. So we have a 30-day extension. We'd like to hear back about your progress with the BZA.
No, the request that they should move the fence back.
Oh,
Against for traffic.
can you amend your motion?
Right.
Oh, you could do a separate motion.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
make a motion. Move to.
I make a motion that Mr.
Benson,
I forgot his name,
Mr. Graff.
Graff, make sure that the fence on Franklin is moved back for the flow of traffic on the weekends, just every weekend.
So just a little clarification, I believe the contractor, Green City Demos, was the actual applicant that came in and asked for the street closure. So I think it just has to be referred to the actual applicant. So Green City Demos, just the motion needs to be amended to reflect Green City Demos moves the fence back on the weekends. Yes.
Okay.
Amend your motion.
Assuming that no work is going on the weekends, correct?
Was it Greenfield?
Green City.
Green City Demo.
Green City. I make a motion that
He's the project manager. City.
Green City be made aware that they should be moving the fencing on Franklin back during the weekend so traffic can flow more appropriately.
We have a motion to that effect. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we'll call for the vote.
Before you call for the vote, would you like to hear from?
Yeah, sure. Sorry. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. Please state your name and address for the record.
It's Chad Woolery. My address is 207 Dorsey Street, Cincinnati, Ohio.
Thank you. And did you have something you wanted to comment on regarding this?
I'm the project manager for Green City Demolition. I'd like some clarification. on the fencing removal for the weekend, are you asking for that fencing to be removed completely, the sidewalk and parking lane closure, or simply the lane closure for traffic? Because we do currently have a dumpster that may end up having some refuse in it. We try and get it emptied by the weekend, but it's helpful for site security for that fence to be there along the parking lane and across the sidewalk, as we are still performing demolition on that building. I'd like to limit, for safety concerns as well.
We're asking just for the fence to be pushed back to where the parking area is. So you're no longer in the southbound travel lane of Franklin Street. So it can stay up. You're just pushing it back to the west.
Okay, not a problem. And then I would like to clarify the 2 to 3 weeks is definitely incumbent upon having good weather and being able to work. And we've got some maybe, thunderstorms coming up this week. Lightning and high winds restrict us doing aerial work. So I would like to just clarify that as well.
I feel like we definitely understand that.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you, though, for bringing that up.
Of course. Thank you.
All right, we have a motion. We have a second. We've received comments from the contractor. Are there any other comments before we make the vote? Yes.
Hey there, Scott Melland. I thought this was a public hearing, so I was waiting for public comment on this. I really don't understand the pressure on this owner. Other buildings have lingered for years without this level of scrutiny and request after request for more things. I think it's important for the city to realize we delayed even the demo permits for this man for weeks and months. And I think that dumpster and fencing was put up on Franklin within a week or so, with less than a week after the demo permit was finally approved for that. We watched another building fail for years until it fell over. Here we have a known owner who's engaged, who has plans, who is moving forward with them. And we won't remove this sword hanging over his head. I don't understand it. I believe when this order of demo is completed, you should remove the order for demolition. I also don't see, he's at this meeting for a demo hearing. You've added another condition now about the BZA, which isn't applicable at this stage of his development, in my opinion. Furthermore, when it does go to BZA, I personally will be at those meetings urging they support any zoning he requires to keep this a functional venue in Michigan City. Again, guys, I don't understand why somebody who we have contact with, and I know there's more to the story, I only know what's available to the public, but at the same time, think of this from the perspective of an owner of a derelict building trying to move it forward in the city. From my perspective as a member of the public, I only see obstacles being thrown in this guy's way. Even when he is moving forward after many months of delays, there's more requirements being thrown at him. I don't think that's correct. I don't think anything to do with the BZA should have been involved in your order today. This is about his demolition order purely. And I'm just really frustrated as a citizen of Michigan City, seeing the roadblocks that this guy has suffered trying to do something on Franklin Street. I appreciate, again, I've said many times, I appreciate all your personal efforts to volunteer for these boards, but we shouldn't make things so hard for people who are trying to do, frankly, hard things. Do we want to facilitate or just see everything get torn down? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. President.
City Councilman at Large, Don Problinski, 215 Gardena Street. Seeing what Mr. Graff, and I've attended a couple meetings here and heard the discussions of what's going on with the building. And I think Mr. Graff is making a great effort to now bring the building into whatever compliance it has to be. I mean, as soon as the weather started to get warm, and I think it's been 2 weeks now that they've been out there working, he had everything set up. Demolition started, and I think demolition is going, I don't know perfectly, but I see a lot of work going on there, and I think he is doing what he said he was going to do and what he wants to do to the spirit of revitalizing this building, renovating the building. And I know there could have been some hiccups along the way between what people thought he should be doing, what he thought he should be doing. But that being put behind us now, I would recommend that the board give the extension for the demolition and let this gentleman go ahead and revitalize that building, revitalize the Midtown area of Michigan City. It needs a lot of work. The city needs to get involved, but I give Mr. Graff credit for putting his personal investment into this and time and effort. So I would recommend that you extend his, or not extend, but approve the extension. Thank you.
Thank you. Did we have any other public comment regarding this item?
Hello, Prisbalinski, 1716 Washington Street. Well, here we are again. And I just want to say that with the order is that in the previous orders that weather was not put into consideration and that we have had a really rough winter weather-wise with snow and temperature. So I personally, from my perspective, since I live a couple blocks away, and I've been waiting on the Midtown report since Craig Phillips was our planner, is I give kudos to Mr. Graff that he's trying to do something with that building. So when you leave here today, go down through Midtown and see how many buildings are vacant. And I don't know why, or if they're having problems getting into a building or whatever it might be. But I think that the city needs to facilitate growth. And I think that Mr. Graff, with that building, is trying to do that. And, it's like, it gets me back to why you have a permit process. And there's flaws in that section of the code, big flaws. But I think that you ought to give Mr. Graff more than 30 days so he can get that place in order. And I think it's going to take more than 30 days just from whatever aspect and weather-wise, because that is true. We're supposed to have 4 days of rain this week alone. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, any other public comment regarding this item? Anyone online? All right, we will close public comment. Is there any other questions or comments from the board before we vote on this matter?
So I just want to make it very clear, you have a motion and a second just to move the fencing back. You've already approved a 30-day continuance.
Correct.
So if you, after hearing the comments, if you wanted to reconsider that 30 days, you'd have to make a motion to amend it. But right now, the current motion is the fencing.
The fencing. All right. If we have no other comments, we have a motion and a second on moving the fencing back on the weekends. We'll take the vote on that. Mr. Volz?
Aye.
Mr. Simmons?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Moore?
Aye.
And chair votes aye as well. Okay, so we have the 30-day extension. We're requesting the report for the BZA and the fencing be moved back on the weekends out of the southbound lane. Okay, our next order of business is board comment. Do we have any comments from the board?
Can I just, before you get to board comments?
Yes.
So I'm not hearing any motions to amend that 30 days, correct? Okay, so then that would take us to the April 6th meeting at 8:30 a.m.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to say that on the record. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Volz?
Yes, I would back to public comment on the leaf pickup. I know the city's been working at getting the leaves. It's been a horrible winter. Every time they make any type of progress towards getting leaves, then they have to get salt trucks back on, plows back on. So I know all the departments are trying to do their part to help with the leaf pickup as weather permits.
Thank you. I do agree. It's been very challenging. Any board comments? All right. I would just like to make a comment in regards to Mr. Graff. I'm very excited. We are seeing progress. Michigan City is seeing progress. I know I personally am thrilled that we're moving forward, and I promise I know I will take weather into consideration, because I know you can't have people out there on your lifts and everything in the rain and winter. So thank you. Any other board comments? All right, we have a motion to adjourn from Ms. Smith. I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This meeting is adjourned.